Athletes Unplugged. Our next guest joining the show is my good friend, Antoine Bethea. He's a 14-year NFL veteran. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler, and he's also a Super Bowl winning champion. And if you want to catch what he has to say about football, you should join and subscribe to his very own podcast that he co-hosts alongside Darius Butler. It's called Man to Man Podcast. And oh, by the way, he's from the real HU, not Hampton, but Howard. AB, what's up, bro? How you doing?
What's going on, my guy? How you doing?
Oh, man, chilling, man. Appreciate you making the time to do this for us.
Of course.
Yeah. So where are you right now, man? Where are you?
Man, I'm down here in Florida right now, man. About to get on this bird, and I'm
okay.
to Charlotte. But I'm down here in Florida.
Okay, that's home base is back in Charlotte.
In Charlotte, yep.
Okay. I don't know why you've told me that before, but I don't know why I keep thinking you're in Miami, bro. You're like Miami dude. You're in the family.
You know what? It's crazy you say that, because that was actually one of the places we would think about, making home. You know what I'm saying? Miami, Fort Lauderdale, but I'm in Charlotte.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I didn't have a chance to talk to you after your retirement party.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know or didn't hear about that retirement party, that was like a who's who of Black excellence. I mean, you had, bro, one thing that stood out to me was the fact that, you played 14 years in the National Football League. So you met a lot of people, but a lot of people that spoke that night was part of your life from the very beginning, the middle, and where it ended before your new chapter started. And I couldn't help but notice, and which I didn't know at first, that you played linebacker in high school. Yeah. And I'm going to start there because when I heard that, it made sense. I'm like, I watched this dude play for many, many years. He was great in coverage, but what I thought separated you from a lot of other safeties or just guys playing in the back end was your ability to play in the box. Yeah. And it occurred to me, I'm like, that's where he got it from. He had that linebacker's mentality, You're playing a cover guy in the league. So let me ask you this. So when you get to Howard, I'm gonna talk around a ton of stuff now, but this is on the top of my head. So when you get to, I couldn't help but think the transition from playing high school defense as a linebacker and then making the transition to college to play DB. Mm-hmm. It was hard for me, and I played linebacker in high school and played linebacker in college. But what was that transition like, bro? Was it a huge shock for you to learn how to cover and how to do all the things that would ultimately get you drafted in the 6th round of the NFL?
Man, it was first and foremost, I'll say, and he actually spoke at my retirement party. Coach Bolton, he was my defensive back coach at Howard University. He played 14 years in the NFL as well, and I would say his coaching made that transition smooth for me, right? Like you said, like me playing linebacker in high school, and again, another one of my coaches, Coach Arad, he spoke at the retirement party, and he was a coach that put me at linebacker. He said, "Look, you love to hit, you're small in stature, but you can run." He said, "I'm gonna tell you 2 things: either high school ball, you look at these guards, where they go, you go."
Right.
And that's something that stuck with me. But as far as my transition at Howard and playing the DB, man, I give all the credit to Coach Bolton, man, just with the technique that he taught me. Playing high school ball, man, it was always really moving forward or running sideways. I really wasn't backpedaling that much. So for him to really
that's crazy, because you in high school it's very vanilla, and so now you gotta learn, just the fundamentals of playing deep. Obviously, you were an athlete, but I'm trying to dive into the weed. Like, bro, that's not easy to do. Yeah, man. Did you have to spend? I know you had to spend countless time just not only going through the reps, but watching film and making sure your back pedal was right and all these different things. That shit is not easy to do. And because you're a baller, you make it look easy. But, bro, I mean, you had to go through some times where, like, man, is this really what I'm doing? Like, do
Nah,
you ever?
man. It was crazy because, like you said, like Coach Bolton, the first one that taught me the T-step, right?
Okay.
So we would be in his office, and he would just be like, in this little room, we're gonna work on T-step. When you go back to
Right.
your dorm room, work on T-step. You know what I mean? And he was really the one that kind of like instilled in all of us, like, yo, you get 1% better every day. So when you
Right.
come out on this field, I want to see a little bit of progression. He would keep us after practice. So he was really a stickler on technique and details. And it wasn't easy. My freshman year, I didn't get a lot of playing time until late in the season. In my sophomore year, when I was really playing, they put me in the box. They put me at strong safety. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then
Right.
that's kind of where I was able to excel. But it wasn't an easy transition. Like you said, being an
Right.
athlete and obviously being a hard worker and wanting to learn, I made it happen. But it wasn't an easy transition.
No, I couldn't imagine, man. And it just brings up another point. I read someplace your first love was basketball.
Yeah.
So growing up, same with me, man. If somebody would have told me when I was a young Thundercat that I was gonna play in the league, play in the NFL, I was like, nah, bro, I'm basketball all day.
No
So
doubt.
I know you probably played AAU, and in this area, a lot of people who don't live here, who've never known anyone to play basketball or football, this place is flooded.
Yes.
It's talent rich with football, basketball, you name it. And I was one of those dudes when I got to Maryland, being from Florida, I'm bringing that cocky little attitude. I'm thinking I'm doing them a favor. And come to find out, it didn't really occur to me until probably my rookie year. I look around the locker room in Cleveland, there's like 6 or 7 guys from this area alone.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one that attended Maryland. So it was crazy to see how, in this small little, from the DMV area, how the talent pool is just crazy. So knowing that you're from Newport News, Virginia, there's a lot of talent that's come out of that area, from Virginia Beach, from Chesapeake and Hampton. Who were some of the guys that you looked up to as you were growing up and as you realized, sports was going to be something that you were going to continue to do throughout your life?
Yeah, man. So I'm having an older brother, and he played basketball, he played football, and in high school as well, and he was right there along that time with AI. So being able to go to those games and actually see AI play, see my brother play against him, and then people, you got to think about the Aaron Brooks, right? So we think about Aaron Brooks, the New Orleans Saints as a quarterback, but Aaron Brooks was a dog on the basketball court as well. Aaron Brooks had a teammate named Antoine Smith who ended up going to St. Paul. He was a dog. You got to think about AI had a teammate named Tony Rutland. He ended up going to Wake Forest and playing with Tim Duncan. He was a dog. Another name that guys don't really know, Damian Bako. He went to Hampton High School and he ended up going to Alabama. So during those years, man, and I was a pup. I was 8, 9 years old. So this is when I'm starting to really, learn about basketball, learn about football, man. And it was just a rich area, like you said. Then you got, across the water, you had Joe Smith, you had J.R. Reed, that was some older guys, man. So it was just some rich basketball and some just sports all in general. And then, like you said, as my 8th grade, 9th grade year, man, it was all about Ron C. I don't care what you I don't care what you were talking about. It was about Ronald Curry, right? So it was like, it was football. He could do everything. He was playing quarterback. He was playing safety. He was kicking. He was punting. You know what I'm saying? And then, you looking forward to basketball season. Ron C was on the hardwood doing this thing, man. McDonald's Player of the Year. That's when the McDonald's All-American game was in Hampton, Virginia. And it was just it was a beautiful time, man. And those were the guys that kind of I looked up to as far as the area where you can. And now you starting to see these guys go. You see AI going to Georgetown. You see Damian Bakos or Tony Rutland's on national TV now. And you're like, man, I'm just watching these guys in the gym down the street from my house. And then you look at the Ron Curry where he brought the McDonald's All-American game, to our hood. So it's like, yo, this is a possibility. And you know what I mean? So it was one of them times where it's like an unforgettable moment. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's dope. I'm glad you laid it out, because a lot of people don't know. They know the names, but they don't know where they come from.
Yeah.
And so it's funny. The only guy growing up, the only guy that I knew that was that talented in football and basketball was Adrian McPherson. Okay. In high school, Adrian McPherson was the first. I believe he was the first player in the state of Florida to win Mr. Football and Mr. Basketball. But you get out here, you see Ronald Curry. Ronald Curry was the National Basketball Player of the Year, McDonald's National Basketball Player of the Year, and McDonald's National Football Player of the Year. That's on a whole nother that's on a whole nother level, bro.
And then to even talk about before him, like AI, like I think now people kind of talk about, how AI was just a dog on the football field as well. So it's a clip that's out that AI, after they won the state, they won the states in football. A reporter comes to him and he's like, "Yeah, we about to go do it and win states in basketball." And they won. They won states in basketball as well.
Come on, man.
It's like to your point though. Like that's one thing that I hold close to my heart is like wherever I go, I'm gonna rep the 757.
Oh, I know.
Though we gonna hold our own. I don't care. We might be smaller than the Florida, Cali, Texas, or whatever. But when you talk about athlete, pound for pound, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, track, or whatever the case may be, 7'5", man, we gonna hold our own.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with you, bro. I cannot disagree with you. And so, do you see? Because I feel like that was just like a special time in the 757 where all these athletes were coming up and doing big things, sprinkling out, going to Georgetown, going to Howard, and just making a name for themselves. Do you see the younger generation having that same kind of impact of athletes coming from those particular areas right now?
Yeah, man. Because then, you look at after me, you still had Cam, you had Percy, Harvin. You still got a lot of names. And even on the basketball level, we got guys in the league. So I just think our area, we breed athletes, man. And yeah. I think it's different than how we used to come up, where we were multi-sports. We were going to play football. We were going to play basketball. I just feel as though just the culture has kind of shifted a little bit where, you still have your dual athletes. But I think a lot of times now, like the athletes are focused on their one sport, which, to each his own. But, you got the guys that's focused on football and they taking off. Guys focused on basketball, they're taking off. And even the women, the young ladies as well. So I still see it. I might not know the names I got used to because I'm just not in that area as much, and I'm not just tapped into the high school market. But we still got something that's still coming out of the area.
Yeah, so that's dope. That's dope. So let's go back to your days at Howard. And I was, before you agreed to come on the show, I was doing some research and I realized it occurred to me that the experience, you talked about the experience and your time at Howard and how y'all used to go to Dick's Sporting Goods and get like cleats and all the accessories that at these bigger programs you just have to your disposal. Man, can you talk a little bit about that? Because I don't know if people really appreciate when people say the Black experience, and I've heard you say on a number of occasions how Howard kind of shaped you. It made you a man, and then just those lessons that you learned from Howard, you kept that same fire lit for 14 seasons. Can you talk a little bit about like what some of that experience was like going to an HBCU and going to Howard at that time from a football standpoint?
Man. Again, man, I tell people to this day the best 4 years of my life, hands down. If somebody say, yo, AB, if you had to rewrite your story, if you could drop everything right now and do it all over again, would you change anything as far as your football experience, your college experience? I'm like, hell nah. Like, let's keep this thing the same. But like you said, man, it was just the grit and the grind, and not to take anything away from the PWIs, because I know you got to grind to get where you at. But it's just a different grind on the HBCU.
No, it's a different grind, bro.
Yeah,
it's a different grind,
right?
Because I know the backstory. Even my wife went to Howard. Her parents went to Howard. Yeah. And I have a young, my oldest niece is at Howard. And before she started, the first year she was there, my brother calling me, man, this school, just complaining about like the living situation or whatever issue that was going on. I'm like, listen, stop complaining. It's the experience. I was like, whatever my niece is going through, you don't think my mother-in-law went through it and my father-in-law went through it? It's the experience. Trust me, she's gonna love it. By the end of that year, she was calling my brother, man, I love it. I wouldn't change nothing in the world. I don't know what it is, but like once you're on that, you get that HBU experience and on Howard's campus, it's something that just once it grab hold to you, bro, it's like you bleed it. You absolutely bleed it.
No doubt, man. And that's what it is. Like you said, like when you're on campus, you complain all day. You know what I mean? You go in the A building. Like if you go into the A building, you can throw your day away. You can don't worry about the classes. You can be in the A building all day. You know what I'm saying? Living conditions. Like I say, my freshman year, I didn't get under my sheets and my covers until November. You know, no AC in the dorms. You know what I'm saying? You complain about it while you in it, but then when you leave, it's like, man, it taught you a lot about yourself. Being able to live in certain different type of conditions. But just on the football aspect, man, like you was talking about it, like, you know, we had tape in the training room, but we wanted to be swagged out. So we had to go get our red tape, our blue tape. The trainers like, yo, we not spatting. If we spatting, you had a serious ankle injury. So the guys in there, we spatting each other up. The weight room is underneath one of our dorms.
That's old school, man.
You could touch the ceiling. You got your soccer team practicing on the football field. You got your band practicing on the football field. You got the gym classes on the field, and then you got the young boys from the neighborhood off of Georgia Ave. They coming up and they practicing on the football field. So it was like a community field. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, it's like, man, this is what the experience is all about. And
no doubt.
And I would live through. I would go through that all over again. And we talking about the HBCU experience, and I tell guys, I'm like, at a PWI, your Saturdays during football season is gonna be much better than ours. You playing in front of 80,000, 90,000, 100,000. Like every football player will want that. But what I say the difference is that on that Sunday, that Monday, that Tuesday, that Wednesday, that Thursday, you would never find anything like an HBCU campus, man. It's just the everyday experience as a young black man, a young woman, man, that you'll never get on an HBCU campus that you will get on a PWI campus, man.
Man. I remember being in college, and because they kept us. For 4 years, I think I said this on the Man to Man. For 4 years, I was never able to go to a Howard homecoming because they always, they got us up out of here. They knew, we got to schedule away games. So guys would talk about, man, you drove on campus, man, the chicks wearing stilettos and it looked like they're going to the club. I'm like, what? We got to get out there. And we could never, I didn't have a whip. So some of my buddies did. And on the weekends when it wasn't football season, we would try to get out here. But before we get off the college subject, man, I want to go back to some of those days, man, when I first knew who you were. That 707, 707s, and so for people that don't know, it was so we just talked about all the talent that's in this area, and all this talent is spread out with Bowie, Maryland, Howard, all the other universities, and what we would do in the off season. We would have 7 on against local schools. And for the most part, every year, we were either traveling to Howard or Howard was traveling to Maryland, but it was like a dog fight. Guys, first of all, if you were at Maryland, guys were like, I didn't realize it my first year, but I could tell like the sense of urgency from the older cats. was like, all right, we can't lose to these cats, man.
Yeah.
Like these cats played blah, 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 blah. I'm like, we can't lose. So when I realized, I'm like, oh shit, Maryland doesn't want to lose to Howard, and Howard is trying to basically like, nah, we not the little brother. Nah, we here to, we gonna compete. We played against each other in high school. Nah, we just at different school, with different uniform. So I just remember, man, just how intense it was. It was more intense playing against y'all than it was us going 7-on-7 against each other. And that shit brought out the best in us so much. Our the white goat, he was our strength coach. Because obviously it was like NCAA rules, the coaches can't be a part of it. And they would every coach at some point throughout that week was like, hey, listen, we're going to Howard this week. Hey, get your shit right, because they not gonna be with that BS. You know what I'm saying? So that level of competition was dope, man. And I just remember out of all the college experiences, especially in the summer, those were one of my favorites.
Nah, that was definitely one of my favorite, man. We used to pile up in the whips, like you said, drive up to Maryland. And that's what it was. It was like, yo, fellas, like, we not coming up here bullshit, like, because they already thinking, they at Maryland, we coming from Howard, that they gonna walk all over us, man. So we was like, look, we gonna come up here and do our thing. And I remember one time, it was one year, we brought the big fellas out too.
That's right.
O-line, D-line.
That's right.
And they were out there flipping the tires and going at it against each other, man. So it was definitely good times, man. Great times.
That was good competition, man. So now, you have a hell of a career at Howard. You reach All-American status, and you end up getting drafted 6th round, right? 6th round.
Yep.
2006, we're in the same draft class, and you go to the Colts. And I think I read someplace that, you're playing next to Bob Sanders, Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis, who else was in the back end? Either way, you had to earn your starting position. Being a 6th rounder, you and I know, and some of these people listening may not know, being a 6th rounder is almost being a free agent, undrafted free agent. It's just like being an undrafted free agent. They're looking to cut you if you're not good enough and look like a superhero, look like the man who knows what he's doing by grabbing a gem. So you're up against that. Like, what did that moment, when did you know, okay, I kind of got my footing in this? And when Tony Dungy approached you and was like, hey, you're the starter, walk me through what was your mindset like walking into that situation, knowing you're pretty much an underdog, the ultimate underdog.
Yeah. So, man, when I was drafted 6th round, going into OTAs, you had your rookie mini camps and stuff like that. But going in OTAs, I was the number 7. We had 7 safeties, so I was really like 6, 7 safeties. You know what I'm saying? Man. I'm going in, right. So I'm like, all right. Well, shit, I know a grind. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, I just came from 4 years of it, right? So. And at the end of the day, like everybody in the draft, all we want is an opportunity, right? So I'm like, shit, this is my opportunity. I got to make the most of it. So it would just go out there and play ball, right? Go out there and play ball, play a game that I've been playing all my life, man. And I was going out there, and at the time, they didn't know if I was going to play safety or corner. So I didn't know that. Yeah, I was doing one-on-ones with the tight ends and the receivers, right? And I was holding my own on both.
You get extra work.
Extra work, right? So I'm cool with that, though. I'm cool with that.
Right.
So I started making some plays, started showing up, and then it was one period, like a week. It was a week stretch where they started putting me in with the ones, just sprinkle me in with the ones. And like one day I got a pick off of Peyton. And then the next day, I got another pick off of Peyton. And this was like in like 7-on-7 in team settings or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it was like 3 days in a row I got a pick off of Peyton, right?
God.
So at that moment I'm like, shit, I belong, right? Like I'm here. We got the ones across some Dallas Clark and all the boys. So I'm like, all right, cool, right? So we ended up leaving, when you have that break in June. And I was talking to my DB coach, and we kind of had like a thing because he was from the 757 as well. He was the William and Mary. He was from Norfolk, Virginia. And he had called me, and he was like, "Look, man, you did well, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was just helmets." He was like, "If you can come back and in August do the same exact thing, but you can tackle, you'll have a good chance of making this team." So in my mind, I'm like, shit, that's my forte. That's what I do. That's what I tackle. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward to training camp, man. At this time, I'm like number 3, 4 on the depth chart. I'm going with the 2s, getting sprinkled in with the 1s. And I'm rocking, having a good summer. Mike Dawes ends up getting injured. So this is when I started getting sprinkled in along Bob Sanders. And as everybody know, Bob Sanders, he was that when you talked about a safety, a box safety, he was that. So for my job, we played cover 2, we played cover 3, we played man. It was like, hey, we're gonna put you in the post and use your instincts. Read the quarterback and go make it happen. You know what I mean? When it was man, you a great cover guy, we'll bring you down. You know what I mean? So I'm like, shit, I can do that. And Mike Dawson ended up coming back towards the end of the preseason. So it was kind of like, Mike Dawson was in year 4. It was like, okay, well, what are you
from Ohio State. From Ohio State. A big deal. Big deal. Yeah.
Shout out to Mike Dawson, man, a dog. And that last preseason game, as you know, a lot of the starters don't dress that last preseason game.
Right.
And they told me as a rookie that I didn't have to. I dressed, but I didn't play.
Wow.
So the guys were like,
rookie, bro?
Yeah, that
was
that's huge. You know what I mean?
That's OG status, bro.
Yeah, and going into that first week, I think it was that Monday, preparing for that first game. I might be. Yeah, I think it was that Monday. That's when they gave me the nod and say, "Look, you're gonna be starting this first game."
Yo, that's big, bro. I don't know too many cats who started their rookie year and didn't play that 4th game, bro. I know damn well. No special teams, no nothing.
And so I played. I was on punt in the as far as the 4th game. No special team.
What? No, bro. No.
Yeah.
No.
So it was crazy because I didn't play the first preseason game because I sprained my MCL and I was out. So that second preseason game, we played the Seattle Seahawks. That's when Sean Alexander just came off from that crazy year. And then that third game, we played New Orleans, and I bought that game. So
hold on. I got to get
blessed,
this right,
man.
So a 6th-round draft pick, who obviously Mike Doss. If people don't know who Mike Doss is, stud at Ohio State, dog. He's a veteran at this point. 6th-round draft pick out of Howard University comes in, and first you don't play the lat. So for people who don't really understand why I'm so hyped about this, I was the 34th pick of the draft. I was a 2nd-round draft pick. I started my rookie year packages, like on base. I didn't start sub, but I played every game that we played on special teams. That 4th game, I played everything, bro. First rounder, unless you're a first rounders typically, if they solidify themselves as being a starter, they don't play that 4th preseason game. Damn, that's big. That's big, bro. That's big. So on a lighter note, bro. So I couldn't help but think about my rookie year. I'm thinking about all the stuff we got to deal with, all the Ricky hazing, the dinners we got to pay for. The first part of that question is, who is your vet? And then the second part of the question is, did y'all have a guy? Because if, again, I wasn't into fashion like I am a little bit now.
Yeah.
And Willie McGinnis was my old head. Willie McGinnis played 100 years, Super Bowl champion, lead the league and playoff sacks even to this day. Well, what he used to do, let's say we're playing an away game. I was the guy, you have some guys go home, they get dressed at home, then they go straight to the airport. Now, I was the guy after walkthrough, I'm staying after in the locker room, finish my test, take a shower, get dressed there. Will Mack would stay. And what Will Mack would do before he put on his clothes, he had this referee jersey he put on. Then he had the whistle and he had a yellow flag. So if anybody came in there thought they was a 10 from fashion And he used to fry people up.
Fry them up.
Throw a flag at you, and then blow the whistle, get everybody attention, and just go in. And where I was subjected to that shit a handful of times. I wear these big ass, oversized,
big ass pants,
Jabot jeans.
It was different back then.
It was different, man. Who was your OG, and did y'all have anybody in the locker room that used to fry people up over like their outfits, man? Because oh my goodness, Will Mack had me afraid to walk in the locker room, bro.
So my OG, I would say, man, we had a bunch at that time. I walked in a great situation, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you can Cato June, Bob and Mike Doss, Gary Brackett, Rob, Frenny. So we had a bunch, man. And like I said, the culture was different there, man. So everybody was like fam. But it's when you talk about joking and clowning, though, Dominique Rhodes, Dami, Cato.
Cato. Yeah.
I think
was GB a part of that at all?
GB clowned a little. GB clowned a little bit. But if you had to say two, it was Cato and Dominique Rose, man. Them boys I'm talking about coaches, training staff.
Right, everybody was getting it.
Everybody was getting it.
Oh man, well that mess was torture, bro. I remember when I started wearing skinny jeans towards like, I don't know what this was, like 2010, 2011. Yeah. Man, they used to fry me up, dog. They used to fry me up, but I was like, I can't stop wearing it because
you was ahead of your time.
Hey, listen, man.
You was ahead of your time, bro.
Almost cried a few times. I ain't gonna lie. Almost cried a few times. Well, shit, man. So this is actually a good time for me to plug. If you're listening and tuning in, please go subscribe to Athletes Unplugged and go check out the Man to Man podcast with Antoine Bethea and Darius Butler. But so let's go back to so you're in your first start, man. Like what was that like? What was that like to finally, because I remember my third preseason game, which, obviously in the league, it mirrors what the first game will be. You're playing with the starters. You play a lot longer. You play 3 quarters. That's what it was back in the day. And I remember we were playing Philly, and Donovan McNabb was the quarterback. And bro, I think I got a ME, missed assignment, mental error, the whole deal, like the first series, bro. Yeah. First series for sure. Because I'm staring at, this guy I've watched on national television for years, bro. Yeah. Donovan McNabb, and I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I mean? And then I kind of caught my wind, but it was like a shock every game that year just to know I'm walking into another stadium. I'm putting on the jersey for another week. Man, I'm playing alongside. I'm playing a dream. What was that moment like for you when you realized damn, I'm here, bro?
Oh shit, mine was the same. So my first start, it was the Manning Bowl. It was Peyton versus Eli, and we went up to New York. So that's when they had Tiki Barber, Brandon Jacobs, Jeremy Shockey at tight end, Plaxico. So I'm lining up, and I tell this story all the time. It was a regular cover 3. So at that time we played cover 3, cover 6, rotate weak or rotate strong. And we had been doing this was like day 1 install. Right. And we called a little single high coverage. And I go blank. Blank. So I remember Cato, he tapping his hip like, yo, let me know where you coming down at. Let me know.
Right.
And he turned around and I'm like, bro, I don't know. Yeah. So he tell me to come down, and I'm like, for sure. I'm like, typically, like, since I've been playing sports, I get butterflies before every game, right? And it's just like, that's when I know that I'm ready. I got butterflies. And after either the first head or if I'm on the court, like, the whistle go, like the butterflies go away. Man, this game, bro, I had butterflies the entire game, bro. I couldn't shake them shits, man.
Yeah.
That was kind of like one of my moments. I was like, damn, bro, I'm tripping. And just like you, I had an ME, missed assignments, and shit that I've been doing all summer, all preseason. But it was just one of them times, man. I was just like, well, damn, I'm out here. Right.
There's nothing you can do at this point. That's dope, man. That's dope. I think everybody has that moment where they realize like you start thinking about the game, which you've never done before, ever. Not that long, at least.
Yeah.
I know for me, it was definitely a shock. Definitely a shock. So let me ask you this. So you play, how long you with the Colts? What, eight years, right?
Yep,
8 years. So I remember when the Browns released me. And I remember I was trying to figure out what that next step was going to be. And for me, I didn't want to go to a situation that mirrored anything that involved me playing that didn't have a quarterback, one. And two, anything that was going to, that I thought that could shorten the plays that I was having, because at that time I was like, man, my agent would do this calculation every year, how many plays I played. And every year I was in Cleveland, I was like top 5 in total plays. So it's just like, man, at this position, I can't keep, at some point my body's going to catch up.
No doubt.
So you win a Super Bowl there your first year down in Miami against Chicago. That experience was great, man. It was dope to be a fly on the wall. And I'm changing gears a little bit. It was cool to be a fly on the wall when we were back in Indy recently to congratulate Rob for getting into the Ring of Honor for the Colts. But I remember we were all smoking cigars, and you and Reggie and GB and just all the Colts. Who else was there?
Kelvin Hayden.
Kelvin Hayden. Just everybody talking about the experience of winning a Super Bowl, bro.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help but just sit back. Like, I couldn't even interject in the conversation, bro, just to see y'all light up and talk about the aftermath of it and just some of the hard work, one, and then two, just Reggie was talking about like when y'all came here to DC and Park and just some of the celebrations, man. Like, that was dope. For me, I had never been around guys who had won a Super Bowl and like talked about it. And it was more than just two guys talking about it. So that shit to me was dope, man. That was dope. But I know I'm doing a lot of talk. I want to first ask you about, you have a hell of a career, and the NFLPA in 2017, they decided to start this. You were the first recipient of the Black College Football Pro Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And to me, you have a Hall of Fame resume. To me, your story has a Hall of Fame story. To
Appreciate
me,
that, bro.
For you to be the first recipient of that award, when you're talking guys like Doug Williams with the HBCUs who weren't crowning and weren't, the first recipient of this award, man, what was that? What did that moment mean to you, man?
Man, it was special because, when they did, first, when they told me, I'm like, man, it's dope for the same reason what you said. Like, you got Doug Williams, you got Jerry Rice, Michael Strahan, you got Walter Payton, you got some, Mel Blount, you got some legends that's come through the ranks as far as HBCUs. And for me to be able to be recognized as a first, man, it was a humbling experience, because again, it's like, I wish they would have been doing this way before, just because there's so many guys that deserve.
But no, you were deserving of it at that time, because a lot of people wouldn't have. They'll know these big name guys, but like, dog, you got to give yourself some credit here, bro. Like the guys you gotta. This shit was dope, man. When I read that, I'm like, oh man, like that's the first one, and some former winners are Darius Leonard from the Colts. Tariq Cohen. This list is no slouch, man. These are guys putting in work, man. So, I'm like the number one belief, because Christina being a Howard graduate, like it's bled into her HBCU pride is bled into mine, bro.
Yeah,
bled into mine. And so I feel that, bro, and I see this shift of the last few years of people finally taking notice of HBCUs when guys have been putting in work for as long as the league has been here. And me personally, growing up in Florida, every year my mom would take me and my brothers to the Florida Classic. The Florida, and we were diehard Florida State fans. And I remember from a very young age, our entire family would load up, go to Orlando, and watch, what was it? FAMU and Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah.
And it was more about, probably one time out of like 6 years we went to the Florida Classic, I went to the actual game. It was about the cookout. It was about the fellowship, the tailgate, and all that, man. So that was my first glimpse into Blackness, to be honest with you. You know, it was the first time everyone got together and it was celebrating a great cause and it was fellowship. And so for me, that was special. And, you know I asked the question. Now I started talking about other things and what have you.
But, you know, I could talk about this HBCU thing all day. And to your point, you know, like I said, like I would never downplay the recognition. And, you know, like it's one of the, you know, biggest award that I received, like you said, being the first recipient. But then again, getting that award where you got Shaq Harris there, you got Doug Williams there, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, these are the guys that paved the way for us, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it wasn't for them, sure, who knows where we would be at right now. But again, man, it's just that HBCU vibe, man. It's the family-oriented feel that you get. And regardless of what event you're at, whether it could be homecoming, a basketball game, football game, whatever it is, man, you always gonna have that feel. And it's like, damn, I wish I could go back to that time where I was 18, 19, 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, it's just a different feel.
Yeah. So tell me about your free agency kind of circuit, right? You spent 8 years with the Colts, and you know you obviously started from the bottom, worked your way up. You're a household name at this point, Super Bowl winner, Pro Bowl guy, and now it's a chance for whatever reason the Colts don't bring you back, or Ryan Grigson takes over. And I remember when the Colts became a player in my selection of teams that I was going to play for. Yeah, I was looking forward to, I'm like, damn, you know, like AB is there. Like y'all had a mob. And to see you leave and me come in, and then Landry, I think Landry is a hell of a dude. We had a lot of fun together. But he didn't have this. I think if they were to do that over again, they would probably kept your ass around.
Bruh, I was sick, yo. I was sick. You know what I'm saying? But I seen the writing on the wall just because, you know, the business aspect. You know, you have we had brought Vontae in. I knew they was going to sign Vontae. And then they had just signed LaRon to, like, I think it was like a 3-year deal. So I'm like, you know, they're not going to have 3 guys in the backfield in the secondary. So I just kind of knew the writing was on the wall, but I was like, I still had my fingers crossed. It was a little bit of hope that maybe they could, you know, we could work something out.
Yeah.
But I was sick, man. And then to what you just said, like when I saw they brought you in, they ended up bringing Pops in, and you know, I spent my first 8 years there. So even though I'm on another team, like shit, that's where my roots was at. So I was still. You know, rooting for the team. You know what I mean? But my free agency hit, man. Like I said, it was bittersweet for me because I wanted to, you know, everybody. I think all players say like, man, if I could spend my whole career in one place, that would be love. And you know, I grew to love Indy, and I wanted to stay there. But then again, you know, everybody wants to be wanted. You know what I'm saying? So when you get that opportunity to touch the free agent market. And you have these other teams calling it, I'm like, damn, I like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So again, man, once it was my first time in the free agency because I ended up getting read up our lockout year. So I got read up my lockout.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah. So this was my first time really touching the free agency market, the free agent market. And I enjoyed it. You know, had some different. I think it was Seattle, Green Bay, San Fran. So, you know, it was kind of one of them things that you just looking at the teams and like, which is the better fit for me. And San Fran at the time, they had, I think 2 years prior to that, they had went to the Super Bowl. And then the year right before that, they went to the NFC Championship.
Right.
So I'm like, shoot, they have the foundation there. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think D Witt ended up going to.
Was it Buffalo?
No, he ended up going to Cleveland, I think.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. He went to Cleveland. He went to Cleveland.
D Witt ended up going to Cleveland.
That's
they needed
right.
they needed to fill a hole. So I'm like, shoot, man, you got Pat Willis, you got Bowman, Justin Smith. They had their defense was stacked.
Alden Smith.
Smith, you know, a young Eric Reed. So it was I just seemed like a good fit for me, especially the type of defense that they ran. So that's why I went ahead and went with San Fran.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. When I got released, bro, I'm like, they better bring in somebody that can ball. You bring in a scrub, man. That ain't gonna be a good look, man. I'm gonna be forever salted. But they brought in Carlos Dansby, and Dansby put in work. He's another dude that flies under the radar that I think will be in the Hall of Fame at some point.
I say that all the time. I think Carlos. So we were teammates in Arizona, and Carlos is one of 4 players to have. I think it's like an X amount of tackles, and I think it's like
the 40-30 club, 40-20 club. Yeah, 40,
yeah. I'm like, and then the other 3, you got Ray in there.
Right. It ain't many.
It's not many. I don't know the other 2 guys. It's not many.
So Brian Urlacher.
And these Hall of Fame linebackers. I'm like, he got to get in. Got to get in.
Oh, no. When you speak of Carlos Dansby, he's so when I played, I was trying to get in the 20-20 club. For the linebacker, 20 interceptions, 20 sacks. You know what I mean? And then that's one like kind of, stepping stone. But like the
that's
40,
tough, man.
30, right. Yeah. So I was in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna keep playing until I hit this 20-20. But then things happen or what have you.
Yeah.
But like as far as Carlos Dansby and like Ray Lewis and Brian Urlacher, Brian Urlacher and Ray Lewis, they have over 40 sacks and over, I believe it's 30 interceptions. And Carlos Dansby is right there. Right there. And London Fletcher may be the other one. So it's an elite company so I definitely feel like he's definitely put up the Hall of Fame numbers, bro.
Yeah.
For sure. So let me because I know you and D Butt, y'all cover the latest NFL news and what's going on. Everybody's talking about this big trade with Russell Wilson being traded from Seattle to Denver. Maybe I've been a fly on the wall, but I haven't seen much. I know Denver was pretty solid in defense. What do you think about that move, man? Now he's going to be up against. In my mind, I'm like, why would you go? I get it. You think you still have a lot of years left, but you're in a conference, the AFC South division, AFC South, where you have Derek Carr, Patrick Mahomes, and was it Justin Herbert?
Justin Herbert, yeah.
So I can already tell the NFL schedule makers or whatever, they're plugging in all these games, bro.
Monday night, Sunday night games.
I want to watch it all year, bro. All year I want to watch it.
I think it was it was good for both sides. I think Denver got what they needed. I felt as though because you look on their offense, running back, solid at running back, and receiver wise, you got a young crew. So you got Patrick, you got Judy, and I'm missing one more. But I think they just felt as though they were missing that one piece, which is the quarterback, to kind of elevate them to where they need to get at. Because you just mentioned you got Kansas City, and you got the Chargers, and the Raiders not a slouch. So unless you make a move, they're in a good spot. But then you look at Seattle, you kind of feel like, okay, well, I think we done hit I think we plateaued as far as what we could do with Russell Wilson. They let Bobby Wagner go, but then what you was able to receive for Russell Wilson, you can play with that. You got 2 first rounders, you got 2 second rounders,
and you got bodies, real bodies that can play.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, do we play with this in the draft, or do we give some of this capital to another team to possibly bring in somebody? You know what I mean? So I think both sides won. I think Russell, I know he's happy as a quarterback, being the weapons that he has. So I think it was a good move for both parties.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then you have Aaron Rodgers. He decided to stay and sign a blockbuster deal. Was it 4 years, 200 mil?
Yeah,
And
I don't
like
know. I
100.
don't know if that's for sure, but I know what he's getting is something crazy.
Yeah, it's something crazy, bro. Yeah, that's insane. The quarterback market is on another stratosphere, man. Another damn. So I can't let you get out of here without talking about some of the philanthropic things that you've been a part of.
Yeah.
And Newport News, you've definitely done a hell of a job of being an athlete, being a philanthropist, and giving back to your community.
Mm-hmm.
Of recent that I know of was the basketball court that you developed in your hometown. I saw the press conference. I thought it was great. This is something that you've been giving back, and a lot of guys. So much so in 2000, I believe it was 13. You were the Colts Man of the Year. So anytime, for people that don't know, if you're honored by a team of being the Walter Payton Man of the Year, that means you exemplify just an outstanding just sense of urgency about you within the community and giving back, and not just money, but time. And every year that's crowned one Walter Payton Man of the Year, and that list is phenomenal. And these guys are doing big things. So tell me, what inspired you to, I know guys talk about it. I got to give back. I got to do this. I got to be a part of it, but you actually do it. Do you have a team of people that help you kind of figure that out? And, what was your motivation behind, you specifically giving back and actually doing it, man?
Yeah, man. I think that was always one thing that I said I was going to do, man. If I had the opportunity to give back, I was going to do it. So, I mean, we're blessed with the platform that we have. And the youngsters, man, they look up to us, whether we like it or not. They look up to us. You know what I'm saying? Especially coming from the neighborhoods we come from. It's like, dang, like, Big Bro did it. I can do it too. So for me, it's like, man, show your face in the neighborhood, man. Let them touch you. Let them know that it's real. Like, I was walking through the same halls that you was walking. You know what I mean? Walking the same streets you was walking. So for me, it's always about to give back, man. Being able to help people that, necessarily in most ways can't help you. So it's like I'm not doing it, to get something back from it. I'm just doing it because this is what I want. You know what I mean? I want to see my neighborhood in a good light. And for the basketball court, what really came of that was that, again, I tell you, we talked about earlier, basketball is my first love.
Right.
And that's all we did, man. I'm talking after basketball practice, after football practice, after school, we rolled around our city, other cities, and we was finding a basketball court and we were playing. And it just so happened around our way, man, like the courts were getting ran down. We didn't have any basketball courts with any lights. So once the sun went down, you know what I'm saying? So,
and that's the time where you need to be occupied with something productive.
Exactly. So I'm just like, damn, like, it's tough to get a bunch of people to go out and do, hey, we're gonna play this football game.
Right.
All you need is a handful of people to go out there and play ball, man. And that's get you active, keep you out of trouble. So that's what me and the team, man, we decided to do, partner with the city of Newport News, man. And from there, man, we, holding tournaments out there and people actually using it for good use, man. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope that you're doing that. And I saw Sam, your wife, was there. She spoke, and I think it was just a great thing, man. And it's something that I've always talked about doing. It's just I lost contact with folks back home. It's just I've done a little things here and there, but nothing at the extent of how you've given back, man. So that kudos to you being able to balance all of that. Yeah, that's dope, man. So I'm gonna get you out of here with this last one, but do you know, I got a little trivia for you.
All right.
See if you know this. So out of our draft class, you might know this. You might do it. It might be a layup. In the 2006 NFL draft class, obviously, you played a long time. You crushed it. There's nobody, pretty much everyone is out the league, except for a handful of guys from our class. Can you name them?
2006. Can I name them?
I had to look it up myself. I'm like, I went to you, and I was like,
Mercedes Lewis.
Yeah, I forgot about Mercedes, bro. Like, why are you still playing, bro? Like, what are you doing, man?
I say Mercedes Lewis.
Yeah. You're not gonna get the next one, bro. I promise you. You're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get it. Yeah, it's tough, bro. It's tough. And Mercedes is in what year is this? Like six?
It's got to be like 16.
God, oh, that's a long time.
That's the only one. That's the only one I can think of.
Matt Prater, bro, the kicker. He was a free agent. You'd have never guessed that.
Yeah,
you'd have never guessed. Because I thought you was I was like, hold on, ain't nobody else still playing. He's got to be the longest tenured 2006 draft class.
Yeah.
And then I forgot Mercedes was still playing, bro. He's still freaking playing, bro. That's crazy. But hey, AB, man, I know you got a bird to catch. Hey, man, thank you for your time and your perspective as always, man. Again, if you're listening or if you're watching, go hit the like button, go subscribe to Athletes Unplugged, and go subscribe and like to the Man to Man podcast with Antoine Bethea and Darius Butler, where they talk everything football and some. So go check it out. But again, we want to thank our guest, AB, for joining us. Hey, bro, I appreciate it, man.
Nah, I appreciate you, bro, man. Keep doing your thing, man. Love the show, baby.